Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Super Robot Wars J. And there's nothing you need to do in particular for a secret, again, for this stage, so no need to worry about that. Well, let's see what's going on. Okay, so it looks like Flaying Cure on both London and the desk go. Just kind of said that, kind of melded my words together when I said that. But anyway. Okay, here's where they talk about something quite that you should know. Actually, it does apply to the game mechanics there. The units like the SPTs can't charge head-on, and the super robots like the Voltus V and Combatler have a lot of trouble hitting smaller enemies. And that's true in gameplay. Unless you use the Spirit, of course, but still. Oh my god. I was gonna say I could go for some Chinese food after Sai said that, but I actually had Chinese food earlier today, so I did go for Chinese food already. Oh yeah, these guys should be in school. Almost forgot about that entirely. Oh, so we're back where we were at the beginning of the game. I don't think we've come across arm slaves yet. They're the series. They're the mechs from Full Metal Panic, and in this game, there's a lot of the arm slaves will be used by a bunch of the different series, if I remember correctly. I know the enemies of the Zeromer series use arm slaves in one map. They were just hired mercenaries. They just hired mercenaries. Was it Terukyu? Don't remember how the name said. But yeah, the Zeromer enemies, they hire mercenaries, and the mercenaries use arm slaves. What's going on? Yep, that's what they did. Dried meat. Oh, what's going on now? Low on M9, huh? I don't think we actually see it in this stage. And yeah, we don't see arm slaves yet. I don't know if they appeared in the other route. So yeah, I think the next stage is where we'll first be seeing the arm slaves. Looks like Toya, Koji, and Sayaka were captured by the enemy. So, you know, that's good. Well, we gotta go save them. Okay, so it looks like Dr. Hell, well, maybe not working together, but just the fact that they had a common enemy, decided to fight together. So yeah, sure. Here, his portrait's right. He's supposed to be sort of like two-faced. One side's supposed to be more like feminine. The other side's supposed to be more, I don't know, manly, masculine. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Masculine. For me, I never really got that when I first looked at it. I got the whole two-faced thing, but for me, that portrait just the way it's colored kind of makes it hard to distinguish that sort of aspect of him, because I never seen Ashura beforehand when I first played this game, and it wasn't until Z2 actually. I played Z2 after this game, where when I saw Ashura's face, where I realized, oh wait a minute, that's supposed to be like two completely different faces. I thought it was just like a weird contrast actually when I first looked at it. I never really paid attention to the weird lipstick on him on the left side. Well, it would technically be his right side, but it doesn't matter. Okay, looks like, yeah, so it looks like there were armed slaves on the other route. Well, allied armed slaves anyway. Hey, look, a submarine. Damn, 300 people. Karen. Oh. Yeah, that guy was a Garon. Is pretty crazy. Yeah, Fundamental Panic is actually in the Z series as well. They starting at Z3. We won't be seeing this particular series in Z3 in my Z playthroughs for a while. Wow. Yeah, why not? So I think we should follow the Mithril saying. Whoa. That sounds pretty interesting. So does that make them invisible, or just invisible to radars? I assume that's what it does. It makes them invisible to radars, not invisible to like the naked eye. Tatarosa. You know, while we do save a lot of people here in this stage, you don't really see their gratitude or anything. So it kind of goes, it's kind of lacks impact, I suppose. Usually I don't really care, though, when I'm playing these games, because I'm having fun anyway. But when I'm, you know, looking over this in post, it's just the things I think about when I'm reflecting over the stages. Hmm. Oh no. Oh yeah, Atheron thinks Kira's gotten off by now. Oh yes, this was the stage I was talking about way back when I was talking about the the different series. When I was talking about David, I think, and his dialogue with Kira. Well, not with Kira's specifically, but it's related to Kira. But yeah, unfortunately, these guys are underwater. Well, a lot of these guys are anyway. So you're gonna have to make sure you don't use your beam attacks on enemies that are underwater. Oh. So yeah, because of their similar circumstances, the Nadesco, Edgy, and Kira kind of. The characters from the Nadesco series and the character from the Gundam Seed series kind of have a bit of a relationship there because of their similar circumstances. That's what I wanted to say. I think I picked the Dragon Gundam here. For no particular reason. Just that I want to pick, as I said many times, I want to choose my favorites, but I don't want to just stick to a particular series. Here we go. But yeah, this time Kira is a bit of in this game, Kira has a bit more of a reason to fight than in the actual series, I suppose, because there's a bunch more enemies that the Earth has to face in this game, and I think Kira, since he can fight with the strike, he feels a bit more of an obligation to stay with the Archangel because of the amount of enemies that the Earth has to face. And the fact that, the Earth Federation can't really deal with that. Can't really deal with them. And that, Zaf has no desire to protect the Earth at all, really. From what I can gather. Zaf more cares about their space colonies than Earth itself. But I could be wrong on that. Anyway, that's what I think. It might be wrong, but I don't really care if it's wrong. Just from what I'm gathering, anyway. I said that better, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, this stage isn't too difficult. I sort of take my time in this stage, especially in the second wave. But, I've already mentioned the water thing. And it's pretty much the same as any other stage, just, attack the enemies. And use your spirits wisely. Other than that, there's nothing too special about the stage that warrants, mentioning. Oh yes, there is another requirement in the second wave of enemies when we fight the Mecha Beast. And I'll be mentioning that when we actually get to that. I think that was the reason why this stage took longer than usual, was because of that requirement that popped up later. Oh yeah, the Sky Grasper can't use its sword attack when an enemy is underwater, and I don't believe it can actually get underwater either, unfortunately. So yeah, the Sky Grasper isn't really useful for underwater enemies, and if you equip, so I don't think with any of its packs it can really do much to underwater enemies. So you wouldn't want the Sky Grasper to be attacking underwater enemies. I believe the Gravity Blast does not count as a beam weapon, so you can use the Gravity Blast from underwater enemies just fine. I think being underwater actually does give you some bonuses in terms of defense as well. I'd have to press the B button on a water tile next time where there's water to check to make sure, because I have mentioned this before, but tiles have different effects. So sometimes putting your unit when your unit's flying landing on a tile might be helpful because it might increase your defense or accuracy. Rarely there are tiles that will recover energy and HP. Usually those are if there are bases on the map, then those usually do that. Don't know if they appear in this game though. They might, and it's a really loud car. Jesus. Hey, it's the brain powered. And there goes Miguel. You're punching out on the ocean floor? I don't think that's a good idea. He didn't run away this time. Ooh. Yep, we finally took down Miguel. So Miguel was the first of these reoccurring bosses to go down. So, yep, Miguel is dead. We killed Miguel. And in actuality, we've kind of been killing a bunch of people. That's something that you don't really see all the time. Because usually they say something like, I'm punching out, sometimes. But other times, it's kind of obvious that they die, I guess. So, we are killing people sometimes. I guess is the best way to say it. Like the mooks. Like, we do kill them. I'm fairly certain anyway we do. And it was one of the things a friend of mine brought up when he saw me playing this game. And It's something I didn't notice or didn't think of when I was playing, but yeah, it's kind of true. I forget if the brains bar... I don't think the brains bar shot count as an underwater weapon. Yeah, it doesn't. It's a laser weapon because the brain powered are actually more suited for underwater combat, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to put the brain powered underwater when you're in a stage like this. I just didn't do it because I'm not thinking about it, and probably won't think about it next time we play the stage, because I'm not usually too worried about, you know, tile effects and whatnot. In the earlier games, I do worry about those things because they're kind of necessary to live. Look, it's the Yazak. It's the Yazak. Looks like Doman and Yazak have some dialogue. Pretty interesting. I do like it when there's crosshair's dialogue like that. Lancer darts. Oh yeah, sometimes it's actually kind of difficult to determine whether or not something's actually a beam weapon. Mainly because sometimes it looks like a beam weapon when in actuality it's not. Usually it's kind of hard to explain, like, or usually you can tell by the name whether or not it's a beam weapon. But sometimes, like, their animation makes it look like a beam weapon, if you know what I mean, despite despite it not being. The best example I can give is with the Full Metal Panic units that we'll see soon enough. When they use their sniper rifle, it kind of looks like a giant beam comes out when it's just supposed to be really a bullet. Yeah, the shoulder cannon counts as a beam weapon, I'm fairly certain as well. There's probably a way to actually tell. It's probably one of the icons to the side or something. Say, this dialogue here, if you were going for grades at armor, you wouldn't see it. An eye for an eye and a scar for a scar. Forgot about that dialogue piece. Is he dead? Nope. I don't think I've mentioned this, but beam weapons don't work when you hit somebody underwater with them, but if you're underwater and use them on somebody above water, then it does work, I believe, even though really it shouldn't. But yeah, that's what happens. Oh yeah, if I'm gonna need to choose between the Combattler V or the Voltus V first stage, I'm probably gonna pick the Voltus V first, mainly because the Voltus V actually has story in this game. Like, their series' story is actually in this game, and Combattler V is in it. is not. I would say this is it for Yazak, but that is not the case since this armor piece of him, or whatever upgrade he got for his weapon here, his Gundam here, allows him to come back. Weaker, but he comes back. I don't believe any of our mechs do that in this game. I do know that usually the REGEZ, I think it is, the Regez. Not sure how exactly it's said. It's a pilot usually. It's a mech usually piloted by Armroll tends to do that. Tends to do what Yazak units does. Jesus, I can't speak. I believe I showed Doman's fingered Shining Finger sword before this. Well, here it is. Get some new music that goes with it as well. Well, this is the end for you, Yazak. Because you suck, Yazak, that's why. That's my best insult. Anyway. Still have the other G units to take care of. Athra, Nicole, and Dirka, I believe their names were. I forget. I do know that, like Doman, the other G Gundam units can turn their mech gold, kind of like what Doman does. Well, they can use their, was it that seal? I forget what it was called. That, you know, that Doman has. You know, when he sees when he uses the burning finger or shining finger, or that shining finger sword attack. How he has that sort of symbol comes out. I know they can do it too, but I forget whether or not whether they attain the ability in a later stage or you just need to get their will high enough. I don't remember, so yeah, and I don't use them for a while. Nicole barely survived. So, there's only Zach and Nicole left. Nicole's half dead. Well, more than half dead. He's near death. But we haven't hit Atherin at all, unfortunately. So I think I don't defeat Nicole until Atherin until next turn. So this was the doll I was talking about a few stages back. So there's a bit of a friendship between, even though you don't really see it, there's a bit of a friendship between David and Kira. Because I guess David sort of sees that, doesn't want Kira to go through what David went through, what Edgy went through, not David. And I like that. There goes Nicole. Boom. Alright, unfortunately, yeah, I can't finish him off this turn. Although you would think that he would run, considering he's the only one left in his whole, like, squad, I guess you could call it. Keep forgetting that I equipped the Combattler with that beam coat. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, but the Zoroark does recover a bit of HP every turn. Maybe Ian too. I don't recall whether or not that's the case, but I do know that he does recover HP each turn, which is more of a reason why he's an overpowered unit. Because if you raise his ability and you upgrade him a lot, then he can, if he takes damage, he can heal it up essentially. So yeah, here's what I'm talking about. Kira's fighting because he has enemies that aren't exclusive to Zaf, just as he said. The Dorodam and the other space aliens are attacking Earth, and he just wants to fight them. Technically, he could fight them and be with Zaf, but he also wants to protect his friends that are on the Archangel, so he has more of a reason to stay with the Federation than he does to actually go back with Zaf. I suppose the reason why he stayed with the Archangel in Seed was because his friends were still on it, but I haven't seen Seed, so I wouldn't know the exact reason there. Oh. Oh no. So yes, this time we have to buy time by wasting 6 turns. Huzzah! So all you have to do at this point is just run away. I guess, no, I'm pretty sure we had another stage like this. But, yeah, with the, well, what I'm referring to is the fact that a turn equals a minute. But I'm not sure if there were, I'm fairly certain there were earlier stages that said that, that implied that, I should say. So yeah, I don't think you can actually, well, I don't think you can defeat Baron Ashur in this time. You might be able to harm him just fine, but I would recommend just running. Because he doesn't take too much to defeat. He's in a submarine though. But anyway. So, you know, he's underwater, so beam weapons can't hit him. I should mention that if you do defeat Baron, the other enemies don't disappear. Although it kind of seems like they were supposed to, since he does say something along the lines of retreat for everything, but they still stay there and defeat all of them. Just a bit annoying. Oh. Oh, it's only for like a few seconds. Oh, I won't be too worried about that then. Was that the speed up? There was a bit of footage that saw the speed up. And the submarine isn't anything too amazing. The only thing remotely interesting about it is its high HP. And even then, I'm pretty sure we've faced enemies already with a similar amounts of HP. No, we definitely have. So it won't take too long to take Baron to shore down. Just use your strongest attacks against him and you should be fine. To be honest, I don't know why, but I don't like the Great Mazinger as much as Mazinger Z or Mazen Kaiser. Like, it's a good unit and all, but for some reason I just don't like it as much. I had no reason to like one over the other, though. I have no reason to like one over the other, though. That's what I meant to say. So, I'm not entirely sure why, to be honest. Maybe it's just the design. Or maybe I just haven't seen enough of Tetsuya in action. Who knows? Bood? Wait, is that what the ship is called? Bood? What? Yeah, he still doesn't recover all the Mega Beasts, but he has to defeat all of them, so he does, and he just runs away. Oh yeah, I think the Mega Beasts are, were based off of, or replicas of things from whatchamacallit, what was it? Of like things from the mice. I don't know. Like they weren't like created by like their design wasn't created by Dr. Hell. I think it was some sort of ancient civilization that had something like them, and he just sort of copied the way they looked, if I recall correctly. Although we don't see anything of that in this game. I think the OVA does go past Dr. Hell, and Koji does fight the Ankoku Dai Shogun in the OVA, I think. But in this game, the only enemy is Dr. Hell. I think, and Ankoku Dai Shogun, I think, is the Great General of Darkness, is what the name translates to. Oh, and just to show it off, here I show off Doman's shining finger. I was thinking of having that the thumbnail, but that doesn't really fit, like with the entire stage theme. So, perhaps another time. Anyway, there goes the last Mega Beast, and the stage is over. With all the hostages saved. demon left to die. Oh, Kaname's here. I don't know why I find this amusing. So scared revealing to Kaname that, you know, he's in fact a professional. Oh no. So the armed slave, that I think it's called the Savage, is that Sasuke is using right now. I know in Z3, or was it Z3T? It might have been Z3.2, but I do know he does use that. There's like he does use that mech for a little bit because I think. Yeah, the mech he usually uses, a bit of a spoiler, I suppose. So I actually won't mention it, but I do know he uses that one for a little bit. But I'm fairly certain in this game he does not. Something I thought I should mention. Cause cheating. The heck? I have a bandage, and somehow, the bandage kind of got. I don't even know what happened. Some of it became really long bits of string. I don't even know how that happened. Anyway, but yeah, we're learning about the Whispered. Oh, we don't know what they are exactly. All we know is Kaname is a Whispered. I guess we'll find out what they are next time, as the stage name may imply. So the stage is over, so I'll see you guys again next time, whenever that is. Bye!